Hello fellow cinethusiasts, my name is Christina and welcome to another Let's Get Reels movie review. Today I am joined once again by
Kimi.
Woo! We are still on our classic movie romp of what series?
The Thin Man.
Woo! And we just finished watching the fifth Thin Man called The Thin Man Goes Home, where Nick and Nora go back to Sycamore Springs where Nick has grown up to go see his parents. And of course, trouble always follows Nick, as usual. It's never just a straight vacation. They could go to New York. They could go back home to LA. They can go to New York again. They could go home to LA. Nick can go back home to Sycamore Springs, probably in the middle of nowhere in the most quaint of towns. And murder and mayhem just absolutely follow Nick wherever he goes. And this is absolutely no different. This time, though, he's got his parents kind of up his butt and bothering him a little bit and not too pleased that all this trouble is following him. And everybody in the town that is somewhat connected with this murder, Nick knows, or his parents know.
Yeah.
So that causes a few problems. When Nick gets back home, everybody assumes that he is there on a case, and they make the mistake of telling this town melodramatic girl, I forget her name, it's some weird name, and she goes and spreads this rumor all over town that Nick is working on some kind of case because Nora kind of opened her mouth, and then this girl just went and spread it like wildfire, and it got in the paper, and then that made some criminals in the town very nervous, so then they started trying to cover their tracks, and all this stuff happened, and it actually leads back to I guess it was like a power plant or some kind of factory
making the propeller or something.
Yeah, some war,
something weird,
something for the war that
really doesn't pertain to anything.
Yeah, I think they just had to.
They had to make something up.
They had to spin it back and say they were doing this for the war and all that stuff. Yeah. Much like alcohol was rationed. Forgive my pronunciation of that. And Nick and Nora do not drink in this movie.
There is zero alcohol in this movie, which is surprising because the man lives off of alcohol.
Yeah.
And all they drank in the movie was cider.
I think their liver must have shriveled from not drinking alcohol.
It's like, I can breathe. What is this?
And then it must have been like, oh no, I'm dying. Oh my god, there's no alcohol coming into
what do I do with my life now?
Yeah. They do not drink alcohol, and the running joke is that Nick is always banging his head, he's falling on things or whatever, and
his dad always thinks he's drunk.
Yeah, and in one scene, Nora thinks that Nick was out drinking, and the next day she goes, shouldn't even give him this, going off and getting drunk without me. Yeah. That is one of my favorite Nora Charles lines of the entire series. Just the way it was delivered. Yeah. And the way she was fuming.
Yeah,
she was absolutely so fuming. She was so mad. And then she's trying to because it's Nick's birthday, and she's trying to get his attention. She bought him a painting. Yeah. And she wants him to see it, but he's all excited because now he's involved in the case and nothing gets
he's not
it.
even paying attention to her. And she keeps posing next to it, and he doesn't even see it. Yeah,
and that gets Nora really, really pissed. I think this movie truly belongs to Nora.
It does.
I'm gonna have to say it really does. She is just so freaking adorable. Yeah. So many good lines in this movie.
She has great line delivery too. That's what I like about her character a lot. Yeah. She can deliver the lines really, really well.
And it's the faces.
Oh, and she's got the bitch face down.
Oh, it's not even a bitch face. It's just I am so not amused with you. Yeah. I am so not putting up with your garbage. Yeah. She was trying to tell Nick's father a story, trying to impress him because Nick's father doesn't really approve of him being a detective. He always wanted him to be a doctor he is. Yeah. So Nora was trying to tell him this story, but she was using all this jargon, and Nick was just oh my god, no. And she was just going on, and she was doing some gestures and things like that. Oh my god.
It's the longest story in the world.
Yeah, and And Nick's mother's just sitting there, like, captivated, and his father's just like, and Nick is just, he's like, I'm not.
Dying.
I think that's the one time he's ever regretted bringing Nora anywhere with him. That was so funny, though. Because it was, like, very out of character for Nora, but it was out of character a little bit for Myrna Loy. And that's not, how she does things. Yeah. They were definitely a lot cheekier. There was a lot more kissing.
It was a lot more sexual in one.
Yes. And it was a lot more than the first one, I'm gonna say. Yeah.
This was the most, like, the one with the most
innuendo going on.
Yeah.
And, like, so when Nick gets a hold of the paper and sees that Nora was quoted, and so he grabs her and actually, like, bends her over and smacks her with the paper. She goes, "No, Nikki, not in front of your parents." And you're like, "Wait a minute, not in front of your parents?"
You're not in front of your
What?
He, like, bends her over his knee and starts smacking her in the butt.
And this is 1945. Like, whoa.
Yeah, that was surprising.
That was cute, though. They were, like, outrageously cute. Now, we've gone on and on and on about how we absolutely love and adore Nick and Nora Charles, but I think this is, like, the movie where if you don't consider them life goals, then you need to be smacked in the face so hard. They were just so cute. Like, there's one scene where Nick was laying out on a hammock and Nora, the chair. She's trying to set
folding chair. And he's like, "You're having trouble?" Or I forget what he says exactly. But he ends up setting it up.
Yeah, and then she just gives him
it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she falls over.
Yeah, and then she goes to, like, get up, and then she winds up spinning the hammock around, and Nick falls over. And they're just, like, so cute and so happy.
It was cute.
I am not a romantic mush in the slightest. No, I am, like, a cold-hearted bitch when it comes to romantic stuff. Sweet, cute, kissing stuff, no, that doesn't, I could not handle my emotions.
They kissed a lot.
And I was just like, oh my god, I needed Nick. I needed Nick to my Nora. Like, this was just, they were adorable. This is definitely where they were like, okay, let's push Nick and Nora. Let's up the ante here with their cuteness and just kill everyone. Yeah. And this is, like, how many freaking decades later, and we're like, oh my god, I can't handle it. Can you guess what my favorite part of this movie was?
What?
Take a wild guess. Who was not in this movie?
There was no kid.
Success!
Finally. They went, he sucks, we're not putting him in the next one.
No.
More dog.
Yeah. Asta wasn't even really in it that much.
No, he wasn't in it as much as the last one.
There was no Nick Jr. There was no Nick Jr.
God.
Oh.
The excuse was he was in kindergarten.
Yeah. And I just loved it because it finally allowed Nick and Nora to be Nick and Nora.
Yeah. Without the burden of the child.
Yes.
But they're just so much better without the kid.
Yes. Yes. They were adorable. This was like back. They were back to being like, let's just bust each other's chops mercilessly and not have to, like, skirt around the kid.
Yeah.
Loved it. The direction in this movie was a little bit darker than the first few Thin Man movies, because I think there was a different director at this point. So, like, there was some shots that were almost, like, very noir style.
There was a lot of dark background with the big spotlight, so there was shadows in the background a lot. I noticed that a lot in this one.
Yeah, this was, like, very film noir type filming, and I just noticed that, like, a lot of the direction had always been done by W.S. Van Dyke up until, I believe, this point. So it was very light, it was very airy, it went along with the comedy, and this one was just a tad darker. You know, it was a tad darker. I think the subject matter was a little darker too, because they were, like, really hitting people.
They were.
They were really, like, they were slugging
people left and right.
Yeah, like, even poor Nick got slapped over the head. Like, that's why in one scene they thought he was drunk. They were just boom.
They knocked him out. And like, falls off the stairs.
Yeah, and, like, there was just a lot of, like, even women hitting.
Oh yeah.
Even Nora mentioned, so was at that mention that somebody was like,
girl, she's like, poor
Mrs. Drake. Yeah, it's just everybody's hitting her. So besides the kid, what is the other aspect that I absolutely hate and despise about this series?
It's when Nick always pushes Nora out of the picture, so
he
can go and investigate when she's really doing more investigation than he's ever doing.
And in this movie, it pissed me off even more. How much was I cursing my brains out?
All the time.
I was was like, I can't handle it. I can't do it.
They
No.
made it worse. They made it like, and he told somebody to
like make her look
who she
stupid.
thought was the suspect, and he's like, just go. She's gonna follow you. Just lead her on a wild goose chase, basically. And that's exactly what happens.
I wanted to cry. I
Yeah.
literally wanted to cry.
I know.
If there's one character in the whole of movie history that I feel very protective of, I have the utmost respect for, it is Nora Charles. If anything, like, awful happens to that woman, like, making her look stupid, I want to punch someone.
She's so cute.
Yeah, not just that, but, like, in the first one,
She tried.
she's smart as a whip.
She is really smart.
And then, like, Myrna Loy, I just feel as being so disrespected
Yeah.
as an actress.
I can see that. Yeah.
You know, like, I understand it's for the sake of comedy, but Nora... This was very, as we said, this is very much Nora's movie. Myrna Loy actually had not made a movie during the entire war because she left motion pictures to help with the war effort. She was very political, and she wanted to go help the war effort. She knew what was more important in life, and I believe she did stuff for the Red Cross. And this was the first time she was back. The reason they got her back, though, is very, very cheeky.
What's that?
They wanted to do another Thin Man movie, but they were going to replace Nora.
Oh, okay.
And
so they
she-
went either
yeah.
you're in or you're
Yeah,
never gonna
and
go
then
again.
she
Okay.
basically did like a, oh hell no.
Yeah.
Oh
nobody.
hell no.
I could only imagine. It
Uh-huh.
would be so weird.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't
then
like anybody.
and then she heard William Powell was coming back, so of course,
yeah.
like, and you do not replace Nora Charles. No, absolutely not. As I said, as you can tell, as you can see,
Yes.
as you can see, no one replaces Myrna Loy as Nora Charles. No. The Thin Man Goes Home is one of the movies in the series that I had written off. Like, I thought, oh man, the first four were really good. 5 and 6 aren't that great. Watching this movie again, I think this was the second time I watched it, and now I'm like so in love with it.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
It's one of the more lovey-dovey ones.
Definitely.
I think, between the two of them.
Yeah, and I think the case was a little bit more interesting because
It was. I really liked it.
yeah, I felt it was
I
like
liked
we
it better
said.
than the last one.
Yeah, it was a little darker.
Yeah.
There was a little more to it, and I think because Nick knew everybody, the stakes were a little bit higher,
Yeah.
you know, and it was a little bit more interesting because he knew everybody.
Yeah, he was home and you wanted to know more about his backstory.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you
I
learned
liked
that he wasn't just a lush. He
No.
was very competitive,
Yeah.
and he did a lot of things.
Yeah. He was important.
The Thin Man Goes Home is definitely worth watching. I'm glad that we did this
Yeah.
and that I saw it again.
Yeah.
Because I totally wrote it off. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ugh, I don't think I'm ever going to watch this. I watched it, I'm like, I need to give Nick and Nora a hug right now. Oh, they're like perfect. Thank you for watching our review of The Thin Man Goes Home. If you like this review in any way, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below so we can further discuss this and just absolutely gush over Nick and Nora and William Powell and Myrna Loy. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for future Classic Movie Thursdays and other movie reviews. As always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.